Welcome to Cat the Minion Patreon. This is going to be a weekly overview with charms for September 13th through 19th. Well, anyway, there's going to be a card for each day, and then each day has a planet that's usually associated with it. So Sunday is the sun, Monday's moon energy, Tuesday is Martian energy, Wednesday is mercurial energy, Thursday is Venusian energy, Friday is Jupiter energy, and Saturday is Saturn energy. Alright, so those might play out in the cards that come out, but they're just sort of in general. So I'm going to lay these out. I've got 3 cards, hopefully for each of the 7-day piles. I'm using my music deck that I made for myself. If you want a copy, I'll send you a PDF for free. You can print it out. You need 10 pages of cardstock. I've got the mini Rider-Waite here. So cute. I don't think I would like a regular size one. I like the little one though. And then I have the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. So those are the decks that were required for this week, and those are the ones that I took out. There's a couple of decks that I'm sort of really wanting, but it's not practical for me to get any just yet. So that's Tuesday there. Maybe Sunday. I really want those elemental hexagons. And I want the Wild Unknown Archetype deck with the round cards. Because I have the spirit animals and the tarot that go with it. Tarot of the Cloisters is round too. I'd like to have that. And a little, I got a double over here on Friday. The double down! I kind of want the El Goliath Tarot, but I haven't seen it in a while, so I'm not like super jazzed up about it. But I have a list. Sort of an immediate list. Oh, there's an Oracle deck that I want too. I don't know what it's called, but it's made by the same people that did the Work Your Light Oracle, and I figure it kind of matches, so it'd be nice to have both of them. It's more of a blue deck, whereas the Work Your Light seems more pink, at least from what I've seen so far. It's kind of the short list at the moment. I don't know why Tuesday keeps going down first. What's Tuesday? The 15th. And then the new moon's on the 17th. Why do I feel like that's not Monday? Maybe this goes on Thursday. I'm trying to come out. Hold on. It's this Sunday. Give me Saturday. Challenge position. Friday. Alright, give me Monday. Give to me Monday. Okay, apparently Monday's a double. Oh, and I need Wednesday still. Wednesday. Okay, I guess this one. I think it goes this way though. These ones are little, so the thing goes that way. I think last time I did this, I did the charms for each day, but I'm going to dump them out on the whole stack. I need why, but it's Monday. Whoa, this whole stack of the deck was going the wrong way. That's weird. We got one. Is it? No, it's just the edge. Alright. Alright, so give me Sunday. I want 3 cards. Alright, Uno Mush. In the challenge position. Give me Wednesday. Saw that. Tuesday. Thursday came out. No, actually, it's Friday, my bad. Alright, so give me Thursday. I'm gonna get Saturdays first. Not the whole goddamn stack. Jesus Christ. Alright, Saturday. This is a double, and alright, so I've got this one and this one. No, okay, not that one. Just that one. Alright. So I'm going to slightly move these. I'm going to put the first part of the week down here. I'm going to screw myself up if I don't do this the right way. I'm going to have to do it looped-wise. Okay. I'm gonna mash myself up if I don't do it a certain way. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Alright, and this is gonna be Wednesday. This is gonna be Tuesday. Just so I don't mess myself up. Alright. When I turned off the camera to get an overhead picture, and I forgot that I needed to put the charms down first. Not much good if they're all freaking outside the realm of the thing. From the other end here a little bit. Alright. Alright, so I'm all set up here now. And I got move this back a little tiny bit. Is it still focused? One of these eons I'll fucking get my shit together. Alright. So I've got 2 charms that are off that go with Sunday. I think this goes here and this goes here. This mermaid comes over here. Okay, so this goes here. Alright, so I've got 2 over here that don't really go with anything. These are going to be this weekly overview. So I get this idea of putting on a happy face and lip service. So we might see what these are related to. Alright, so let's look at Sunday. What's coming in with this Leo energy on the 13th here? Notice that we have the day the 13th, which is related to the number of death or transformation. So this should be interesting. Now I have a cube here, which to me represents, well, not just to me, but it represents the material world, but could also be a first stage of expansion off of the tetrahedron. It also could be something that's starting to be exponential, right? It's cubed. 2 squared, or someone who's not loosening up. But let's see what we've got. So we have 9 of Wands in a challenge position. The song is Feeling Good, and I've just got a picture of this guy from Muse here singing. Is that Matt Bellamy? Is that what his name is? I don't remember. But anyway, he's singing at Wembley. and he's feeling good. Or having a hard time doing so. Alright, so we have the moon in Sagittarius. So this is the day that Jupiter goes direct. And it's happening on Sunday. So we have darkness opening up into the sun, right? A moon in a sideways position tells me it's either dusk or dawn. But because the sun is here, it tells me it's daybreak, right? The planet of Jupiter is turning direct. It's going in its own natural energy. There's something that's not being addressed related to something that keeps happening over and over again, a broken record. With this microphone that he's singing with, it gives me this idea of a Victrola, like a gramophone. So here's the Ace of Swords. So we have the truth, right? It's heading in its true bearing. And we have the Queen of Earth. Okay, so we have a 13 for the 13th. This is a transformation, death cycle, release. Alright, so the Queen of Pentacles energy. Is that in this Queen of Pentacles energy? Just trying to see where that's focused because I can't. I have to lean way over to tell. I guess that's alright. Queen of Pentacles. What the hell is she doing? Sagittarius and Capricorn with Water of Earth. Okay. So Jupiter going direct in Capricorn. Now Saturn is still going to be retrograde for a couple of weeks. But this is, it's like, it's sort of like the master earth sign, right? Manifestation, the physical world. It's getting this I'm getting distracted because this breaks down to 4, 9, and 4, 13, and then I have 1, which gives 14, which is balanced, but I still have 13 breaks down to 4, 9 and 4, 13 breaks down to 4 again, plus the ace is a shift, right? It's a pivot. The planet is turning. But the energy that's coming out of it is this sort of, I'm starting to let go of burdens. It's not going to be the same thing over and over again. You know, it's like I'm going to be able to overcome things that I'm not addressing because the truth is now going to be released out of this rebirth cycle. And again, there's this earth, this manifestation energy too, right? It's like in your soul, you've been waiting for something, for the release for a long time. And not only does it come in, but it comes in at this queen level with this like intuitive, transformative power. So Sunday's looking fucking the tits, as they say. So let's look at Monday. So I can see over here I had the turntable going the other way, right? We're stopping the broken record. And then he had the megaphone. But over here I can see already I have the boombox going the other way too, right? It's like a more modern way of replaying the same thing, which is interesting. But here I'm getting more this idea of like radio signals. So we'll see what that has to do with anything. And this thing going the other way is the moon, all right? So I have the moon in the moon energy, but now it's going the other way, right? It's sun energy, but I feel like it's ramping up towards that new moon, which is later in the week. But this is on the 14th. What is... Oh, you know what? 14 is temperance. which is Sagittarius, which is fire. So I'm saying Monday is the 14th. And then I have the moon in 14, which it tells me moon in Sagittarius, right? Because that's this Sagittarius ruled by fire, which is the same as the Nine of Wands here. The moon in Sagittarius. So that's kind of interesting. Freaking me out a little bit. The Wheel of Fortune. Now, I did see the 9 and the 1 here as a 10. The Wheel of Fortune is Sagittarius energy. Alright, so I have Spinning Wheel here by Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And I have the moon, so it's giving me this idea of Cups energy, but also is like the Chariot should be going with this. So I have a double here. I have the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Wands here. So carrying over this Pentacles and Wands energy from Sunday, but now we've sort of switched it out to the 10 in a lower level and the King to the 10, god damn it, to the 10 in the lower level, and now the Court card is Wands. But notice I have 20 here total, which is giving me also this background energy of Judgment, right? So the book's about to be closed on whatever it was that you couldn't get over. Judgment is fire energy, which is Pluto. Now, Pluto's going to go direct on October 4th, so it might be picking up some of that shift energy a little bit early. But we did have Plutonian energy with that 13 number as well, so it's sort of like the day, this is like the night, and then here's the daybreak, because the sun's going the other way, the moon is going the other way, and here the moon is only sideways, right? So this is the breaking of dawn, and now in the middle of the day we have fire energy surrounding this abundant 10 of Pentacles, Mercury in Virgo. So that's the ruling sign, but Mercury is currently in, or it's about to be in Libra, which is Empress energy. And for me, the Virgo is like the inner child of the Empress. So what we have here is something that you can't get over might be something to do with your inner child, right? And with this dress here also I get this idea of dressing up, right? So like something that might be playing out, right? I'm playing a record, I'm playing with this dress. And here it's like I'm not playing anymore, right? I'm not fucking around. Like, we're gonna turn this shit up to 11. Turn it all the way up to 11. Okay, so I'm getting 20 here, which is the Judgment number. In this deck it's a little different, but in place of where that would be, I have Desire in the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. This is kind of like the Magician, but he's like meditating, which is interesting because I see 20 and I see this wands here. To Desire is sort of a wands element. He's even holding this fire dragon, but he does have the other elements here. So why is this inverted? I think this is just inverted because Judgment is ruled by Pluto and it's currently retrograde. So it's giving a nod to this idea that this energy, the 20 energy, is trying to drag the other planet from retrograde to direct with it. So it's saying, like, you know, the darkness is going to be over, but what, like, maybe not like this week, but in a matter of a couple of weeks, in the next 20 days, you're going to see this energy pop out. So it's sort of like, on the day of balance, you can start harnessing this energy that's going to be happening for a couple of weeks. Alright, so let's look at Tuesday. So Tuesday I have this energy here. These are Tesla coils and this is electricity coming between them. It looks a little bit like Aquarius because it's electric current, but this is basically 2 Tesla coils and it's a thing called a sousaphone. And it just makes this sort of electronic sound with like lightning going between the things. Alright, so we have the sousaphone here, which is interesting because Jupiter, which is what Sagittarius is, that's going direct, the Greek name for Jupiter is Zeus. So we have this very much Sagittarian energy here. Now going the other way, I have the podium. So I get this idea of like like, this is one way to communicate electronically, but this is another way to communicate electronically. The same as these are. But it's like, we're going into our, like, natural power, and we're not just gonna, like, talk a bunch of bullshit and, like, at people. Tuesday. Oh, after the God 2, but we're in Martian energy, okay? So Mars retrograde in Aries for a while, starting around now. So we have the Ace of Cups inverted. Now, this song that I have on here is Higher Ground. Is Stevie Wonder. And it's kind of, the song talks about all this like shitty shit that people do, but it's like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to believe in ourselves and go on to some higher ground. So I feel like this energy represents the Mars retrograde, and this idea of, I'm going to face everything that I've done in masculine energy. That's sort of like, gotta do it, drive, gonna win. I'm expanding like myself like a tree into my environment kind of energy. You know, like, it can be divide and conquer, but it can also be like learning about the other person and not debate. What's it? Negotiating a treaty and diplomacy. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. It can be about diplomacy, but here it's sort of like a tantrum. Like the inner, or there's a masculine voice in the inside dealing with its own ego, where one or both of them is having a tantrum. And we see this come out with his Nightmare card, Nine of Swords. Mars in Gemini. Oh, that's hilarious. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury now in Libra, which is the domain of the Empress, so it's sort of a forced balance, but I see a 9 and I see a 1 here, so I'm almost expecting to see another 1 as well. Alright, so I have 23, I have integrity. Gotta have integrity! 9 and 1 is 10 and 5 is 15, which is devil energy, which is Saturn. Interesting. Currently retrograde, so I see this Martian energy. Now this one doesn't have a mate in the regular tarot because there's only 21. We could almost say it's like a full set plus 2 more, which would bring in, would be like the world combined with the High Priestess. So you'd have Capricorn and the Moon, but I usually see the High Priestess as Pisces. So there's this idea that the total, the sum, plus possibly also this other card has to do with Capricorn, Saturn energy, which is still going to be retrograde for the rest of the month. But what's coming up on Tuesday in the Mars day is Martian energy, right? We're still grappling with this like electrostatic like face off between yourself and the ego. But there's this idea that we're like, I have to go deeper emotionally to find out what's going on with myself to sort of end this nightmare that keeps recurring, that repeat, so that I will have this integrity, right? I can be open, right? I can be naked with other people. They can see my true self, and I won't have to have this constant ego battle with myself. Alright, so we're going to look at Wednesday. I just want to make sure this is still focused. Seems alright, as long as I remember to hold the stuff in the right place. Alright, so now this is sort of getting into this idea of lip service and putting on a happy face, right? This comes in with this integrity and this idea of, I'm not going to tell people a bunch of crap just to be popular. I need to have integrity. I need to speak something that it's true to how I feel, and not just putting on this idea of like, I'm fine, it's good. right? Everybody wants to be around someone who sort of looks like they're on top of it, but in order to fully harness this King of Wands abundance energy, it's like you need to have this integrity, like, to the universe and to yourself. So over here on Wednesday, I can see these champagne glasses going the other way, right? We're not celebrating just yet. And sometimes this tells me Two of Cups, but I think it might have come out somewhere in this reading, but we'll see. So I have an egg that gives me a little bit of the Fool energy because of the 0. But it could also be Martian energy or Aries. It's this idea of the spring, something springing to life, breaking through, like break on through to the other side. It could also be a little bit of 8 of Swords energy. I want to break free. So we'll see where that goes. I have a crystal going the other way. So this tells me Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe. But it could also be, I'm trying to pinpoint something that I can't quite see clearly. And then I have this umbrella, but it's folded up, right? There's sort of no deluge of emotion on Wednesday. We're dealing with mercurial energy, so we're thinking and we're trying to balance stuff out at this point, right? There's sort of some kind of communication happening, but it might be more internal, right? So we have the sun, good day, sunshine. So we have Leo energy here. Now, Wednesday, right? Mercurial energy. Mercury now in Libra, which is ruled by the Empress, who is in Leo. So we got a little what's that thing? The 7 steps away from Kevin Bacon kind of deal over here. Everybody's going back to the Empress. Alright, so now I have the 9 of Cups. Right? There's no deluge of emotions. The umbrella is closed because things are looking kind of aight. Now what's interesting is that there's the Wands and the Pentacles here, but the first instance of emotion is on Tuesday when things are kind of ass backwards. Back-asswards. But I noticed that this 9 here is like the 9 of Wands over here. But it feel like it wants to be in the challenge position, but it's not. It's like we're finally getting the hang of something here. 9 of Cure. Oh, of course, it is Sagittarius in Pisces. Now, Pisces to me, Pisces rules the moon card, right? But the moon rules Cancer. But for me, the High Priestess, even though it's supposed to be the moon, for me, I see her as Piscean. But to me, this gives me this idea of, like, I've seen it coming. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. What's Wednesday's the 15th? No, the 16th. This was the 15th, which I didn't even look at. Oh, I did get devil energy, though. So that was right. And then the 16th should be a tower moment. But I see 9 and then I see 19, so I see it like a leveling up. First I'm feeling good. And now I feel pretty goddamn sunny. And this is very yellow as well, so it's like sunshine on my shoulder makes me happy. Alright, so here's some fire energy. The 7 of Wands. A little bit of defense. Notice we have this duality here. 7 of Wands. Yeah. Mars and Leo, of course. Of course. So, the Emperor wants to hang out with the Empress. 9 and 7, there's that 16, that's the Tower. And I feel like... Okay. So we're not quite celebrating yet because we're on the defense. We can't quite see clearly who to trust and who not to trust. But I really want to have a breakthrough, right? The tower, I'm going to crack this egg. No, the tower is no, it's not. Nope. The tower is Martian energy. Okay. And when we jump out of the tower, we're going to pop this open. So what I see here is this. I know that I want sunshine and happiness. I want to feel nurtured, but I'm still struggling with this, possibly some inner rage. And there's this option to have it broken down, because if we just turn the 7 of Wands upside down, it means we're going to drop our defenses and open up. So, right? Just have to pop it open. Open up. Alright. So Thursday... Okay. So I have a mermaid, or a mer person on here, because I tried to draw it sort of ambiguous, because masculine mer people could have long hair too. So we have a mer being. Which tells me that we're probably going deeper into the emotional content. So this is the 17th. This is star energy, but we have a new moon on this day. And it's ruled by Venus. Okay? So a complete darkness where the moon is kind of leads me back into this, like, sun portal where Venus is sitting. But it's also like this idea of the star. Now, Venus was, in some cases, considered a star as well. She was originally a comet. And then I have the shades here. So I get this idea of, like, I'm looking directly at the eclipse. Right, the new moon eclipse. What's my energy here? 2 of Pentacles inverted. Okay, so this is Do You Believe in Magic by the Lovin' Spoonful. Whole Shia LaBeouf match game thing there from SNL. Combined with the 4 of Pentacles, the world is not enough. So this is the Sun in Capricorn. And this is Sagittarius in Capricorn. So this tells me we're looking at something from a couple of days ago, or a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, when Jupiter was retrograde. And I'm looking forward to December, when the sun goes from Sagittarius in to Capricorn. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting. And I'm going to come back to that, because I need to see these other cards first. Okay, so in the challenge position, we have the 3 of Swords. I'm going into my emotions. I'm going to be one with the darkness of this eclipse. And I'm going to work on overcoming this heartbreak that goes back to this sort of ego challenge from Tuesday, which is 2 days, a couple of days beforehand. Alright, so what's my energy here? Saturn in Libra. Of course it is. Of course it is. Alright, so we have the Saturn Capricornian energy trying to get nurturing out of the Empress for balance. Notice it's 2 and 4 on either side of the 3. I'm trying to balance it out by going from one extreme to the other. Now, what's interesting is that Jupiter is in Capricorn right now. So maybe it doesn't have to do with the December time period, but it might for some people. Okay, so we have the Queen of Water. This is actually really good. This is a transformative cycle here for Thursday. So I see 4 and 13, that's 17, that's the star, but I also have another 5 here, which tells me a pivot. 17 is 5 is 22, which breaks down to 4 again, which is the Emperor number, which may or may not be good, but it tells me there's an emotional foundation that's being reworked here. Alright, because 13 breaks down to 4 again. And the whole thing, I guess, breaks down to 4 if I was paying attention. 4 and 4 is 8, and 5 is 13. Oh, okay, so it breaks down to a transformative cycle again, which breaks down to 4. Okay, yeah. So it's a death cycle, transformation cycle, foundation. We're building up our emotions. Oh, I just heard what... Why do you build me up? Better cut, baby, just to let me down and mess me around. I said, worst of all, you never call baby when you say you will. But I love you still. I need you more than anyone, baby. I like that song. Alright, so this is really a lot to do with self-nurturing. And this is coming in under star energy because it's on the 17th. Which is coming in right after the Tower, right? So after this sort of anger breakdown, we have this emotional opening. Right? I'm not sure what to do because no matter what I do, it never seems like I'm doing enough. I really want to feel better about myself, so I need this transformation of my emotional balance so that I can feel like I'm nurturing myself. And what's interesting is I see the Queen of Water, and I see a mermaid. And if you need some goggles, get all the way down in there, by all means. Get in them there so you can see. If I can talk. Okay, so Friday is Jupiter, and I've got Jupiter right here. I saw it come out. Jupiter has rings around it, and then there's a spot there in the swirlies. That doesn't sound good at all. I have the planet Jupiter. I have this frequency here, the snake, the danger noodle, possibly the kundalini, and it's also a resonant pattern with those waveforms. Right? On the day of Jupiter, we have Jupiter, and we have some kind of cosmic message coming in. And this winter hat was backwards, and I get this idea of I'm not going to have the wool pulled over my eyes anymore. It's one of the meanings I have from my toque here. I think this is what it's called. Okay. So we have temperance. So this is chemical plant zone, and the version that I have in my mind is from Sonic Generations. So here's Sonic, here's Tails, and they're in these sort of waveform patterns that are, you know, like sound waves, kind of like this if there was two snakes, which would be the full kundalini. But there's this idea of temperance actually coming out. So we have Sagittarius energy here again, right, with Jupiter. Makes sense. Balancing the anger and the emotions. And then we have judgment fully upright here to go with this desire. Alright, so this is that Pluto fire energy. Pluto and fire. Scorpionic. Like it's kind of like when Jupiter goes direct, it takes a few days for it to like build up its own essence. And to sort of come out of this transformative energy of the 13 to get over into this scorpionic judgment. Alright. So we have inverted body and mind. This is the Page of Swords. Interesting. So we have an 11, but it's inverted. This is paired with... Wow, okay, so that's the Four of Wands inverted, which is usually that like 11-11 foundational number. So 4 and 11, that's 15. I think this is coming in like this because even though Jupiter is direct, Saturn is still retrograde, and it's caught in this Capricornian energy because I see 15 here. And it's this idea of like, okay, I'm having an emotional balance, I'm having this energy breakthrough, but when I go through this pathway through Jupiter again for Friday, like I'm only getting half of my, like I'm not fully resonating, right? The body and mind are separated, and you're having a hard time like pinpointing this this like link. Like you're so much in your core and your heart that you're disconnected from your body in some way. You're not resonating with your physical body. But this, or it could be that you might have an out-of-body experience related to this. Because these two cards look bad, but these two look fucking epic. And I think it's really just because Saturn's still retrograde, and it's sort of this like weird energy flux between the two huge planets, like suddenly realizing they're not going in the same direction anymore, and Saturn's going to take its sweet ass time for a couple other weeks. But the Temperance and the Judgment look really good right there for Friday, so it might be like a little bit of a like I feel okay, but I'm like really clumsy, and I can't seem to like connect my brain to my head, and I feel like I'm floating in my eyeballs and I don't know where my feet are. So I have 4 and 11, that's 15. And I have 34. Excuse me, I have burped a little bit. Yeah, so the difference between these is the sun energy. So I think there might be this point where it's like you may have been nurturing your soul, but you've forgotten to nurture your body, and now your brain's just kind of floating around. Because Venus is in Leo. Alright, so let's look at Saturday. So we've looked at Friday where Jupiter is, and now we see that there's something going on with the Saturn energy. So let's see what Saturn has to say for itself. Alright, so we have the shield here. Oh, this idea of like in Star Trek, it's like shields! And it's sort of like a plasma barrier more than anything else. Or you have to drop your shields to go into warp speed. Interesting. In order to go plaid, to go ludicrous speed. Alright, so going the other way, I have the halo. And also going the other way, I have this lily. If I can pick it up. Alright, so here's the lily. It's just sort of like crown chakra energy or ascension. And this to me is sort of like the natural world, but also like the innate shape of the universe, the sort of tetrahedral interlocking structure, right? So it's like in order to go warp speed, to go through a wormhole and sort of get the like maneuver the stuff the universe is made of. The shield and these are at opposite things to work, right? So I can either have my shields up and I can be protected, and I'm standing still, or I can drop my shields and go through a portal. That's what I'm getting with that. I mean, it's so fucking difficult to say. It's the Queen of Cups in the challenge position. So this song is Fields of Gold, and I like the Ava Cassidy version, R.I.P. She was amazeballs and gone too soon. Alright, so here there might be resistance to transformation. A resistance to release. Right? I don't want to drop my shields. I'm not ready to go. I'm not okay to go. Alright, so here's the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. Mercury in Taurus. Okay. So Taurus is Venus energy, and then Mercury is in Libra, which is the other Venus sign. So it's almost saying like your princess is in another castle, which is probably why the queen is sideways. Right? It's like she's there, but she's not there. Your princess is in another castle. And then we have abundance, which in this deck is 15. No, I already had Saturn energy. And it's retrograde here, right? Because 15 is usually the devil, which is Capricorn, which is Saturn. But here it's abundance. Oh, why is that? I'm just trying to see what's similar to this energy. Okay. In the normal tarot, 15, the devil, is like a binding, which can be kind of like a withholding. And we see a third of that here. I think this was inverted. The queen can be a 1 or a 13. The difference between these is 10. So I see this sort of like weird juxtaposition between a third and some kind of completion. It says like this is the third time this week I've had to deal with this. Like where, like what fucking castle is she in already? But in order to get to the third castle, you have to drop the shield and go warp speed to get there, which is kind of a weird thing. And I think I'm going to get a clarifier for that. So I'm actually going to clarify the Queen of Cups first. Okay, I see a couple other cards under here, but I'm going to go with the one that was popping out. So I have the Eight of Swords, I want to break free, which is kind of what I said this egg was going to be like. Alright. So your princess is in another castle and they're all dressed in drag. That's hilarious. Now, what's interesting is the lyrics of I Want to Break Free, it starts out by saying, like, I'm sick of your lies, like, I don't need you. But then, like, the other part of this song is, like, I'm in love for the first time. So it's almost like there's two different things happening, right? It's like, I'm not going to be put out by your bullshit, but also, like, I need the feelings, the feels, and the abundance. So it's sort of coming up in this energy. What's the Eight of Swords energy? Oh, of course. Jupiter in Gemini. So there's the North and the South node, and it's going back to this Mercurial energy, but also this Jupiter energy that's sort of struggling with Saturn now that they're not going in the same direction. So what also kind of popped out on the edges here, the Moon and the Knight of Cups. Can you feel it? And Queen of the Night. Okay, so it's like a little bit of a dark night of the soul moment happening with this sort of, it's like I can't get in my head and I'm disconnected from my body. But here it's saying, well, you need to get back in touch with your body and get your head sorted out. So there might be another dark night of the soul, but you can feel something brewing here for Saturday, which is kind of what you would expect with Saturn energy. And I also just heard Elton John, Saturday night's alright for fighting. So it might be a little bit of, it might be another little bit of like an ego showdown, but I think it has more to do with like cellular memories, right? It's like in your heart center and in your solar center, you might have worked everything out by the end of the week, but when you get back in your body, you realize that inside your cells are all these memories that keep tripping you up in your head, and you're like, what the hell, man? I thought I was over that. So it's sort of like you have to go back and forth and get out of your own mental prison and be like, why is this coming up again? I thought I did a good job. What's wrong with me? It's like, well, no, this is so you can fully release it, right? You have to drop the shields so that this stuff can come up so that you can get out of it finally. All right, so here we have love, 12, to clarify this abundance. So this idea of love, now there was Gemini energy, all right? Jupiter and Gemini. I feel like this is like a cross between the Lovers and what the other one is it crossed with? It's like crossed with something else, but here this love card is number 12, which is where the Hanged Man usually is, which would be Neptune energy. So okay, so it's a little bit like the High Priestess here. It's a feminine figure and there's a moon on there. So it's like the Lovers and the High Priestess combined. But I see these two transformative cycles, right? There's a transformation cycle down over here and then another one here. And it's like I'm a little bit hung up on how to love myself because I thought I was all right, but now all this tension's being released from my physical body and I think there's something wrong with me because I thought I already dealt with it. So it's because Saturn is still retrograde, it's this idea of there's something that's still not fully worked out, but it's sort of pinpointing, okay, we did two of the energies, and in order to get to that full Empress nurturing, you have to do the two other suits too. So it's sort of like, trying to think of a good Star Trek analogy, but I don't think it's there. It's this idea of breaking away from this. It's like the way that your body reacts to healing is to say like, oh, okay, let me detox. And then your brain is like, what the fuck is all this? Which is why there's this mind-body disconnect. And here Saturn is like, oh, okay, let me work on that now. Let's, full speed ahead and straight on until morning. And you're like, wait a minute, I wasn't ready for that. Like, I'm tripping over these swords still. So it might be a little bit of a shock when you get to Saturday, which is the 19th, which is the day of sun. And interesting here, this is 18, which is moon energy, which might be why some of this is, it's like Star Trek Into Darkness, and then here is sort of like the undiscovered country or whatever the fuck it was. Okay. So if you want to get a personal reading, my sign's backwards. If you want to get a personal reading, you can hit me up, thecatcameback@camp@gmail.com. I have the complete list of readings and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video, which I should be putting in the little description on Patreon under here. If you want to continue and to contribute to my work besides getting a reading, you could always level up on Patreon if you're not already Pride level, and then you can always hit that tip jar, paypal.me/cattheminion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. I've got some stuff over on makeplayingcards.com. I don't have any Oracle or Tarot decks yet because I haven't finished them. But I've got a couple of playing card decks with custom boxes. It's a little bit pricey, but whatever. It's there. I have Cafe Press. I have print merch, and then prints on DeviantArt. I've got coloring books. I've got a poetry book that's like Dark Night of the Soul kind of stuff. I've got art for sale here in my catalog, the chapbook packs, and made to order stuff and single pieces as well. So check out all that. And if you're not already all up in my YouTube, the regular stuff, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlist tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.